League of Legends, everyone's least favorite game, but we still play it because of our competitive nature. You can't have some random gold player look down on you just cause you are silver. You want to climb up, prove yourself, and show your friends that you are better than them. But how to actually get out of silver? Let's ask YouTube. This one looks good.
Hey guys, in this video, we're going to talk about how to get out of silver. All right guys, quickly before we get to the next step, I want to promote my course, The Ticket to Diamond Blueprint, and my private Discord server. Learn how to play with a lead, learning by watching pro replays. And when you learn all these things, you want to learn how to keep a lead. Hopefully you're learning how to build a lead for yourself and learn how to freeze waves, learn how to relentlessly shove your wave, and learn when you should try to take towers.
Okay, he wasted 8 minutes of my life telling me to just learn the game. Okay, let's scroll down a bit. Oh hey, it's Tyler. He's a good player. He reached challenger on every role. I'm sure he can give us some great advice.
Like, I can't get out of silver 4. I can't get out of, like, okay, you're spamming it. Dude, it's this simple. You don't even need coaching to get out of silver, bro. You need to, okay, take your arm, take your hand, okay, raise it up. Start moving it towards your monitor, okay? Feel on the right side for a button. It's usually a little bit bigger. Press it. Okay, now that your monitor's on, just queue up and play the game. You should be able to get out of silver easy.
Okay, buddy. Okay. Now, before I start educating you with some basic league knowledge that is enough to easily get out of silver, I'm gonna assume that you have played the game for some time, and you are not absolute beginner. So I'm not gonna hold your hands and explain what the fuck is MOBA and tell you to play 2 or 3 champions and shit like that. I'm not gonna waste your precious time, okay? There are 3 things you need to understand in order to climb. First, what kind of game is League of Legends? Second, wave management. And third, embracing the struggle. Let's start with first one. League of Legends is a risk management game where you fight for resources all over the map. This definition that I came up with is quite important. You have to look at things in a very materialistic manner. All you need to win the game is XP and gold. If you have more XP, you are stronger than your opponent, and if you have more gold, you have more items, so you are stronger than your opponent. Very simple. That strength disparity will help you to obliterate enemy team and get that sweet LP. But how to actually get more XP and gold than your opponent? Well, here we step into a beautiful world of macro decisions which are intertwined with the risk management, and for me to explain all of that, we need to talk about wave management. This is extremely basic knowledge, and I'm surprised how many players don't have any idea how minion waves work. So I'm gonna explain it in a very practical way. And if you say that, well, I'm a jungler, I don't need to know how minion waves work. Well, I don't know, just stay silver, I guess. Minions dictate your entire laning phase. They are a primary resource for gold and XP, so you need to know how to manage minion waves to get ahead of your opponent. First thing to know, when minions spawn and meet each other in the middle of the map, they will get pushed towards your tower or enemy's tower randomly, if no one hits them. If you hit even just once or twice, your minions will overpower enemy minions and eventually collapse into their tower. Then tower will kill those minions and wave will slowly start to push towards your tower, if you are not aggressively attacking them, of course. This will result in a never-ending bounce of minion waves from your tower to enemy tower. This is how minions work, and this knowledge is crucial for laning phase of the game. Now, to use this extremely basic common sense, we need to talk about one more thing: lane matchups. To understand matchups, you need to master one thing only: your and your opponent's offensive range. This is very easy to understand in a Sylas versus Lux matchup. Sylas is a melee champion, Lux is ranged, so I basically have an advantage of hitting him from a distance and getting away with it. As long as I'm out of his range of attack, I'm safe, right? Wrong. He seems like a melee champion to you, but you forget how much distance that motherfucker can cover with his E and W. So his offensive range is almost same as mine. That results in a complicated mind games of dodging and baiting abilities. You need to understand the range of your champion and your opponent champion to trade effectively, which is one of the most important things to learn. And now, some words about trading. You remember when I said minions dictate everything that happens on your lane, right? I'm gonna explain it now. When minions collide, you can start hitting them just a bit more than your opponent in order to slow push towards enemy tower, which means enemy minions die faster than yours, which means you get more XP, which means you will hit level 2 before they do, and you know what that means? Trading time, bitch! First 3 level is very important on lane, cause you will literally have more abilities if you level up first. Same goes for level 6. So you can use minions to get advantage over your opponent through manipulating XP gains. So slow push, level up and trade. Also, one thing about trading is that you should pressure enemy through your minions. For example, you can build slow push towards your enemy and use those minions as a bonus damage to trade. If they attack you in your wave, you will win the trade. Do not underestimate minion damage, especially in the early game. Also, trade when enemy is trying to kill your minions, because they are most vulnerable at that moment. Use bouncing minion wave to abuse your opponent's mistakes. For example, most fucked up way to win a lane is to deny enemy as much minions as you can. One of the many options of how you can do that is to kill enemy under their tower when minion wave crashes, which results in him missing ton of XP and gold. Plus you get a good timing to go back to base and buy items. Then you come back to wave that is pushing towards you. Then you freeze the wave if possible and zone them to not be able to touch your minions. This is much easier to do in a melee versus melee matchup. All of that will result in devastating XP loss to your opponent and will make their life a lot less enjoyable. There are a ton of other ways to play around minions in order to abuse enemy mistakes, but everything is based on the concept of bouncing wave, so if you truly understand that, you will climb out of silver easily. Now, I said in the beginning that League is a risk management game. Let's talk about it. League of Legends is a very hard game. It is hard because there are 4 other players in your team that are completely unpredictable. Even if you do your best, they might int, go AFK or be toxic, which could result in a lost game. Even if they try their best, they still might just be bad player and you won't be able to change that. So you have to adapt. Whatever you do in a league match, it should be calculated as much as possible to minimize the risk of failure. Only thing you can trust is yourself, so you have to play selfishly. Try to accumulate as much resources as possible through farming minion waves. Do not go for trades that are too risky for you. Do not start fights that are coin flips. Do not make decisions blindly without assessing the situation first. To win a game, you need to make as much contribution to victory as possible, and you cannot do that if you're under-leveled and under-farmed. Do not try to fight all the time. Catch some minion waves that are crashing to your towers. Take fights where you have numbers advantage or if enemy makes mistake and you catch them off guard. Prioritize taking objectives instead of kills. You only win a game by destroying enemy nexus, not by getting 30 kills. To summarize all of that, you need to be calm, collected and focused to make as least mistakes as possible and accumulate as much resources as possible. Use those resources for taking objectives and eventually closing the game out. Now, lastly, let's talk about third most important thing you need to understand in order to climb, and that is the struggle. League of Legends has a funny mechanic where you are bound to have 50% win rate on average. That means no matter how well you play, you will still lose quite a lot of games. Losing is part of the climb in League, and you shouldn't be discouraged by that. Just know that there will be games where matchmaking just decided that you have to lose. And there will be games where teammates will carry you no matter what. You should focus on learning the game, understanding its basics, and try to improve one step at a time. In that case, you will reach rank that you desire. Eventually. Obviously, there are a lot more things to discuss, but unfortunately, I don't have time to talk about all of that in this video. Elden Ring DLC is coming out and I got some places to be in, so I hope this video helped, and if it did, leave a like or a comment or subscribe maybe, but more importantly, Go play some ranked games, go queue up right now.